everyone. Welcome to our next weekly meeting of the Executive Committee. And so we're going to jump right into it. We're going to do roll call. We have Louis and Nico and myself here. Absent are Savannah, not Savannah. Savannah is not a director. We have Jeff, Galit, Robbie are absent. So moving on, the agenda overview is in the description. But generally, we're going to just talk about the search for the new secretary and then just some updates from our different committees, from at least the change committee and the outreach committee. Chairperson's report. I guess this is where the updates on the search for the new secretary come in. I did take your comments into consideration, Nico. I just we'll have to edit that document, and then I think it's ready to be posted with your concerns about making sure that people know that the board of directors is an unpaid volunteer position. And so once, that's going to take about 5 seconds, and then we can start posting it on our different channels and send it to everybody to disseminate. And then I think bylaws and stuff, that's still going to need 1 more week, but it has not been forgotten. I don't like not checking in about old stuff. All right. Any other reports from Louis or Nico that are not on the agenda?
If you mean like I did what you said on Monday, I wrote the list of suggestions that you gave me using Chat GPT.
Yes. Awesome. So I guess I'll just jump right into that. So what I'm going to jump into is I'm going to talk about the change committee. We had our first meeting. It was Louis, me, and Galit, and we did a little bit of work on our Ripple podcast, which is going to be starting on so we are going to record it on July 31st, and we are hoping to air it by August 7th. We are going to be pre-recording these episodes and then releasing them 1 per week. So we're going to record 4 at a time and then release them once a week. Initially, it was meant to be a live stream, but the 3 of us discussed and we talked about how we already have these live streams for meetings and stuff and inclusivity, and that for our podcast we want to make sure that our information is always correct and that we're giving important issues, that we're presenting them in like a really efficient way. We don't want to talk for an hour and maybe go off topic. We'd rather present like an edited and concise version of an issue just to do it justice and to retain information. So that was our, and also it's just going to be easier for us to record it in 1 day than to commit every week. So we will have guests. We will announce all of our stuff. And yeah, Nico.
I was just going to say that you could have every once in a while, we could have a live stream Ripple, and it could be like a special event. So like every quarter, there's like 1 Ripple that is live streamed, and we could find some way to kind of make it feel like more of a special event.
Yeah. I mean, I love the live stream format. And but I also get super anxious and trail off, and so maybe 1 is good. All right. So we divided some responsibilities in terms of the podcast. We just talked about how Louis is going to be working on the growth of the podcast and providing reports on analytics and stuff, and just helping us advertise and grow our engagement and viewership. Galit is going to really do all this posting and scheduling, and if we have any PR initiatives, she's going to take care of that. and then I'm going to present and research the content. And Galit is also responsible for managing like our guests and invitations, so she'll be communicating with anybody that comes onto the show. And we are going to publish in the Slack in the change. We might have a podcast specific channel, but we are going to post. We have some suggested topics already, and it has a form. So if anybody wants to suggest a topic that they want to see, or suggest to come on to the podcast, if there's one topic of interest that they feel passionate about, we are going to have a whole listing that folks can look into. And
Are
then,
are these going to be like you can go back and watch old ones once they go out? Yeah.
Yes.
Because have you seen like Dive Heart's series on YouTube? Like they have a really extensive, well done, like little mini documentaries and longer documentaries. It's become this like resource. So I would love for us to make sure that that happens here. And I have lots of ideas about speakers or people.
Please. It is going to be. So I'm actually going to just jump into the second part of of the change committee's updates. It's just that we're seeking somebody to assist with our project directory. Jarrell is going to help out, and we're going to have a better portal, a better listing of all of our topics, and just a better way to organize. It'll be like a job listing almost, if you kind of if you think about it, if you ever seen like a job board and you have different like topics, so you'll be able to click into it and browse it and filter through our topics and a little easier than currently. So that's the second thing. And I might talk to Zane actually, because I know that Zane has experience with like UX and stuff. So it would be cool to have Zane's experience on the change committee to help with like our software and all that cool stuff. Is that it, Lewis? I think next time I didn't prepare you, but next time I think that you would be the one to report any stuff that comes out of the change committee. So
okay.
Yeah, I don't want to like speak for you. I'm sorry.
That actually is, because did you read the list?
Yeah, so Lewis created a list of how we are going to market like where we're going to publish and how we're going to grow our viewership and strategies for the different channels. So I'm going to be able to review that by Monday when we meet again. So anything else to other than I appreciate that you did your homework, and I'll be able
there
to
are things I also asked Chat GPT. I'm trying to get used to this AI pronunciation, what not to do, and so far, like I had said, we cannot self-promote in other people's streams, for one, which of course is rude. It's against Twitch, YouTube, and pretty much overall etiquette to self-promote in other people's platforms, unless they have a self-promotion section, like say on Discord.
Awesome. It seems like you like using ChatGPT helped you get your thoughts out and organize things in a helpful way.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I never believed that AI should replace humans, but I do believe that it has the power to help with creative organization.
Yeah, I don't think AI should replace humans either, and I don't think it will.
No, I don't. Well, let's have a Ripple conversation about universal basic income, but not for. I think that has to go hand in hand with AI. but that's another topic. I just wanted to acknowledge that it has been it helps me. I'm neurodivergent as well, so I'm glad that we were able to get some good stuff done in the change committee using a little bit of robot help. All right, on to the outreach committee. I'm going to turn things over to Nico.
Yeah, so really the upcoming news is that I'm going to set up a outreach committee initial meeting because we really haven't had an official outreach committee meeting. We were just kind of planning for Long Beach, and now I've recruited quite a few new members to the Slack. So I'm going to have kind of an initial meeting to talk about what the outreach, what the Diver-sity Initiative is, what the outreach committee is hoping to do, and sort of our plans moving forward. And I'm thinking it might actually have 2 of those because of the time zone issues. And then I want to start planning having subcommittees for DEMA and Folsom, as well as this subcommittee that you talked about for the 5K fundraiser, which I think would be a cool idea too. So that's sort of the game plan moving forward. General outreach meeting, get people together, and then I'm going to set up those 3 subcommittees because DEMA and Folsom are the next upcoming events. DEMA's in November, Folsom's in September. They're actually not too far apart from each other, so that's something to also think about just in terms of planning. That's pretty much all I have. Questions, concerns?
No, my only concern is my own anxiety about events. Like, it feels like we have until September, but already I'm like, oh my God, like, have we planned enough? Are we already too late? Like,
well, I want you to not worry about that.
I
mean, I know you probably still will a little bit, but that's my job here. So you plug in and do the things that make sense for, but I can handle the logistics and that component. So don't stress about it.
You know what? I in connection. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're frozen, but I can hear you now.
I opened up like a new window and then my whole thing, but can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Okay. I just wanted to say, Nico, I love working with you. I love working with all of you. It's just it feels like we're efficient. It feels like we're on track. And I actually do feel peaceful because I know that y'all are so competent. I shouldn't say it surprises me. It does not surprise me that you guys are competent, but I'm like, yeah, I think that's what I meant to express, is that I really, really appreciate like how you guys really just keep showing up and have everybody's back. So wanted to acknowledge that. Okay. As far as the committees, maybe we should actually just bring in, is it okay with you guys if we just talk about what we're going to do about committees and it sounds like, Nico, you have a great plan for how to run the outreach committee. And I'm going to revisit our committee SOP or something and just look at, like, we haven't had committees yet. So this is going to be a really good time to, like, communicate with each other about what's working, like what's the best formats, like how do your committee members like to communicate. Just a lot of communication here is going to shape our SOPs, which maybe we should kind of like shape until they're like official.
Well, I've been on and led a lot of committees in my time. So, committees have to be flexible because each committee has different goals and different responsibilities. But I think, for all of you, I think the idea, the way that I'm doing is to set up kind of an informational meeting, figure out what people are interested in and excited about, and then figure out what subcommittees are needed. And some subcommittees will be standing subcommittees and some will be ones that sort of dissolve. Like DEMA will dissolve and then come back again when we get closer to DEMA. Or or maybe it'll be re-envisioned as a subcommittee where there's a couple of different events. Maybe Long Beach Scuba Show and DEMA are on the same committee because they're both scuba conventions, whereas like Folsom and Pride events would be on something else. I don't know, just brainstorming. So, but my point is that I would start broad and then try to funnel down to like what actually makes sense for each of the specific things, you know. And I think that's sort of the best way to do it when we're trying to figure out what it's going to look like. So how my process versus Lewis's process versus Nicole's process all might look different, or the end product all might look different. But I would say start broad and then kind of zone in.
Awesome. So yeah, let's just continue communicating and recording things so we can just have an official record of like, you know, what committee, like I'm totally going to steal all of your good ideas and use them in the other committees. And I know Lewis will too in the change committee. So.
Well, and I think that's how it should be. Like we should be sharing, you know, again, about complementing each other's strength. Like here's a model, take it, use it, but format it to what makes sense for your specific committee, you know?
Yeah. Okay. So I think that we can start. Oh, just about the 5K. I just have gotten a lot of interest from folks, and I know Robbie has talked about organizing a 5K for Diversity. I've never run one. I'm a potato, but I am trying to start running.
Help, but I'm not
I'm
running.
gonna do it.
I will be a cheerleader.
I'm not a runner either, so
we are the cheerleaders.
Yeah. Nicole, I won't think I would even try to run. I mean, I'm not only that I'm not in good shape to run, but my ankles are weak, so I don't think I would be able to do it. I'm more like I prefer to be in the water.
Yeah. I hate running. I might do it just because Folsom's coming and I got to get the masochist out of me.
I usually walk them too. That's a lot easier.
I think I do know people who run. I could ask them if they would be interested. I could try.
Yeah. So I have no idea about running stuff. I have no idea how it works when people decide to run for charities. I know that Robbie knows a lot about it. I know that there's Carlin.
Before.
Yeah, so I know that there's folks that come to community pool that would totally sign up, and so maybe they should get together and they would be under Nico's supervision to materialize the run.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the things that I'm thinking about in terms of long term with outreach committee is how do we each develop our own programs in our own communities that make sense for San Francisco, New York, Arizona, Philadelphia, or whatever. But then how do I take the programs that you're doing, Nicole and Lewis, and replicate them in my community in a way that makes sense? So I think that it's really cool that because I have my own little ideas that I'm kind of developing on my own with the hopes that they will become successful for me, and then I can give that to everybody else as well as a model. So I think this idea of like, you know, maybe a 5K could work because I feel like a lot of sporty people would be attracted to that idea. And that could be something that could happen in San Francisco, in LA, in New York eventually. Because I think that's how we make our program really, you know, stand out and be seen.
I 100% agree. And I think that that's always the goal with programs like Community Pool and programs like if we do this 5K and trade shows, I definitely think having a general template for, you know, what the criteria for success, kind of like your dive training agency standards. Mm-hmm. Like these are what makes a good one. Feel free to deviate, but this is like, here's your packet. You want to run a 5K in Ohio? Here's your packet, and this is what you would do. And I think that that's really what Jeff's, you know, I think you would work together with Jeff's committee. I forgot what it was called, but I know that his community was about community building and having these rules and guidelines for events and safety and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the only way we're going to get to underwater for all, right? If we all have these cool programs that go around the world.
And like you said, I think really simply put, I think it's us being the model. So people come to us, look to us for resources, for advice, consulting, etc. I think that is a really great opportunity to make sure that this moves outward.
Yeah. I love the idea of like these like kits, right? Like, do you want to? I know that like Patty, I don't like Patty, but but Patty had Project Aware, and
Mm-hmm.
while it had some flaws and stuff, it was still like, hey, I want to run a beach cleanup, and I was able to download like a whole kit of
Right.
like, oh, here, this is like you can print this poster and educate your beach cleanuppers about plastic. Like I really like the kit, so
Yeah.
definitely we should think. I think outreach would think about creating these events, and they all have their own kit.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, everyone. Exciting things are happening. We're going to post the position for the secretary, and we're going to continue starting up our committees. Like, we're on to the next level, which is cool. Okay, I'm going to vote to adjourn. So, everybody give me an okay. Lewis, are you cool to adjourn? All right, everybody, we are adjourning our live stream. Tune in next week. See ya.